Hi, I'm Adelita Montero from Adelita Montero Live. I'm very happy to be here with James Tsakalos, all the way from Australia. Here in Irvine, California, we just finished Empty-Handed NLP. It's an 8-day long, amazing program on how to get off script and actually incorporate NLP in a more organic, embodied way. So, James, I would like to know, in your opinion, what's your definition of NLP? And also a couple of people that you admire or you draw from or you look up to in your industry. And anything else that you may want to share with the book.
Sure. Okay. Well, I'll start with the first thing, I guess. My definition of NLP is that it's about patterns in people. It's about patterns in relationships. It's about patterns in thinking. It's about patterns in communication and all these kinds of things. And it's about really kind of discovering those patterns and working with those patterns. Either if you're a modeler to reproduce those patterns so that you can reproduce some results that someone can get, or to be able to work within those patterns to facilitate some kind of change, achieve some kind of end, whatever it might be. It's all about patterns. There's actually quite a few people in this field that I admire. I'm a big believer in, as you know, lifelong learning. I've been learning this stuff for a couple of decades now, and I've learned from lots of different people, and I think there's a lot of people with a lot to offer. And I guess kind of off the top of my head, first person that comes to mind is a gentleman called Marvin Oka, and he doesn't really teach NLP anymore, but he had a huge influence on my thinking and had a huge influence on what you've just been learning for the past 8 days. A lot of that stuff was from Marvin's thinking about learning and about process and about change and this kind of thing. He's an extraordinary gentleman, and who does some really interesting things these days. And yeah, there's a bunch of others. There's people that are on my list of folks that I want to learn from because they're innovators in the field. Like, I'm really interested in people who don't just kind of repeat the stuff that they were taught, but really kind of explore and develop things and kind of poke the edges and explore the boundaries and this sort of thing. And so one of those is John Overdurf, who I know that some people here have experienced. He's someone that I'm very interested in his work. Gabriel Guerrero, he's an NLP trainer in Mexico. There's a gentleman called Michael Breen, who also does some very interesting things. I'm just generally interested in anyone who really kind of takes a deep dive into this, who really kind of commits to learning as a lifelong process and continually developing their skills and continually developing their understanding, and also kind of breaking out of the molds, like kind of exploring things that other people haven't explored before. Because I think that's where the real kind of development in any field is going to be found. Like, it's the people that really kind of go further and explore beyond the boundaries. That's when new and interesting things occur. So it's people like that I really admire.
Wow. And as far as like people reaching out to you, like where can people find more information about you, get in contact with you, and what kind of trainings you have coming up? How can people work with you?
The easiest way to find me, the two easiest way to find me, is my website, which is www.nlpmelbourne, because that's where I live. So that's spelled melbourne.com.au, so nlpmelbourne.com.au. Or they can go to Facebook, and it's just facebook.com/NLP Melbourne. Again, they're the two easiest ways to find me. And most of what I do, as you know, I'm here from Australia. Most of what I do is in Australia. So if people are in Australia, give me a call. Alternatively, I teach around the world from time to time. So I'm here right now, for example. I'm going to be in India in, I think, a few weeks or a couple of months or something like that. I'm back in the UK again. I teach in the UK from time to time. I'll be there in October. I'll be teaching Empty-Handed NLP there, in fact, in October. And so I'm very much looking forward to that with my good friend James Tripp, who will be bringing me out. And then I'll be back in the States again next year, is my plan. I'll be back here. I don't know exactly when. I don't have any dates booked yet, but I'm hoping to be back here again next year.
Next year, are you planning on teaching empty-handed NLP again, or do you have already formulated what the content of the next training is going to be in the US?
Well, I would love to teach empty-handed NLP again. I'd like to do more of this. And I know that there's a couple of people who are interested in bringing me out to the States to teach another thing that I teach called spiral somatics, which I know you've heard about but haven't done the training yet, which is not so much NLP. Not yet, yeah. It's not NLP, but it's some other stuff that I teach, and it's pretty, well, it's my stuff, so it seems weird for me to say it's pretty mind-blowing, but that's the kind of word that most people use when they do the training. It's pretty eye-opening stuff. So there's a very good chance that when I come back next year, I may be teaching spiral somatics, but I'd love to do this more. I'd like to kind of come out and teach empty-handed NLP more, because I think that's something that I can offer for the NLP community, which is going to be of great value for people who already have some training in NLP. People that can't, like a lot of people want to, when people come to learn from me, there's a lot of people want to come to Australia and train with me, but that's not accessible for a lot of people, and this is something that I can do that makes things a bit more accessible, so people can kind of get access to some of the stuff that I teach without having to come to the other side of the world for months at a time and that kind of thing.
Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to learning more from you, and thanks for all that you do. And
It is my great pleasure.
I'll see you next time.
Fantastic. I'll see you next time.